Do you know that as a shareholder, you are entitled to free gifts, some one-off promotions, and maybe some discounts as well? In this video, we're going to have a look at some of those shares that offer these shareholder benefits, aka shareholder perks. And also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. My name is Daniel. Let's crack on. So let's start with what is shareholding. So basically, let's say that you own Coca-Cola. What that means is that you go to a stock exchange, you can buy those shares and you will be a co-owner of Coca-Cola. So that means that you are entitled to some of the shareholder perks, but these are not the classic perks that we are going to talk about. Let's start with the things that come with the share owning anyways. First of that is the dividend. So if the board of directors decide that they're going to pay dividends to you, not just to you but all of the shareholders, that means that you will receive a quarterly dividend by Coca-Cola. The other thing comes on the annual general meeting, which is proxy voting or general voting. What that means is that you, as a shareholder, are entitled to cast your vote and then obviously vote for the directors, vote for the CEO, vote for the CFO as well. This is the normal shareholding. However, there are some companies that actually offer you some other benefits, shareholder perks, besides dividends and voting and all these sorts of things. And let's talk about those ones because there are a few in the world, about 50-ish companies that you can buy and offer you some other additional benefits. Let's start and move that into categories. The first category is going to be cruise lines. So let's say that you want to sail the Mediterranean, you want to go on an ocean cruise in the Caribbean. You might think about, okay, let's buy some of those stocks because they offer some additional benefits despite the ones that I just mentioned. So the first company is the Norwegian Cruise Lines. If you own 100 shares of that company, you just go to your brokerage account, you buy those shares, and then you have to request a letter or an email from your brokerage company that will be submitted to that company, the cruise line company. So they will say, okay, so you are the actual owner of these shares. What that means is that you will be entitled to the shareholder benefits and shareholder perks. In the cruise line industry, it's usually quite similar. So it depends on the length of the line and the length of the trip that you're gonna take. So let's take this example, the Norwegian Cruise Lines. So what they do is they offer you free credit on the ship. So if you go to a less than 7-day cruise, then you will get $50 credit, which you can spend on the boat. If it's between 7 and 14 days, that's gonna be $100. And if it's about 15 days, you will receive a free $250 credit. So, you can think about, and you might think, okay, that's worth buying some shares to. If you, let's say that you go 2 or 3 times a year for a cruise or with a family, then probably it's a good perk that you can get. The other company is the Royal Caribbean. They offer quite similar structure as well. If you own 100 shares, then you put in the registry, in the shareholder registry, that you are the actual owner of the shares, and that's basically done, and they offer you pretty much the same perks. Other than they actually have a worldwide cruise line, which means that you will be sailing for more than 270 days, visiting 60 plus countries, and for that particular trip, you will get a $1,000 credit, which is, it's quite decent if you own 100 shares. Let's move to the hospitality industry, to the hotel chains, because actually quite a few hotel chains still do it. However, some of these shareholder benefits have been diluted throughout the years, partly because of COVID. Let's start with intercontinental hotels. You probably heard about that. There are a lot of intercontinental hotels in the world, and they actually do offer shareholder benefits. The flip side of that is that, well, it's not that massive and not that big and not that particularly good benefit, although you can just have one single share, and with that you can qualify for that shareholder perks. You will get occasional benefits, you will get occasional discounts. For example, you can get 15% off from your next accommodation, but it's not the best benefit that you can get because it's an ad hoc one, so it's not gonna be like, okay, you're gonna receive that every single time. The other one is actually one of my favorites. So if you travel, let's say 2 or 3 times a year into hotels, let's check out Eco Hotels. It's a hotel brand that owns a lot of subsidiaries from the lower range to the actual high-end facilities as well. From the lower range, you probably heard about Ibis hotels. There are several and numerous all around the world. If you want to go to the mid-range, it's going to be the Novotel hotel. And then if you want to go to the high-end ones, the 5-star hotel ones, there's going to be the Sofitel ones. So the broadness is quite wide, so you can get any of the accommodation that you want. And the best thing is that you only need to own one single share and you will get qualified for the shareholder benefit. What is the shareholder benefit in this case? You will be entitled to the Gold Club card, which is you will get free welcome drinks, you will get other free perks such as you can upgrade your room to a suite, for example, for free. Then you can get late checkouts, you can get early check-in. So it's a quite decent one, to be honest. And as a customer, if you want to qualify for that, you need to spend roughly 30 nights with that hotel chain, with Echo Hotels, or you need to, that translates to about 3,000 euros. So, it's, if you want to compare that, if you're just a single customer or just own one share, which is actually between like 30 and 50 euros, so it's quite decent, you might think about that. Okay, so if I go to XYZ places, let's say twice a year, it's maybe worth just buying 1 or 2 shares and then register that into the Echo Hotel company register, and then you will be entitled to the golden card. Let's move to clothing brands. There are actually not that many clothing brands that offer you these shareholder benefits, but one of them is actually called Next. N-E-X-T. This is one of the largest ones in the UK. They're also publicly traded, otherwise you won't be able to get shareholder perks, obviously. So what that means is that you will be entitled to 25% off from one purchase in a year. So you will get 25% discount in every year from whatever purchases that you make one-off purchase. So let's say that you put in your basket, you go to a shop, you put in your basket 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 worth of goods. Then you go to the cashier to checkout, and then 25% will get off. You can get off 25% from those items. But the thing is that you need to have at least 100 shares. The problem is that if you check the share price, it's a little bit above £100, which means, let's say that you buy a £1,000 worth of clothing, then you get 250 off. Well, get 250 off, but you have to invest in, let's say, 15,000 euros. Probably it's not the best, discount and shareholder perk. However, if you want to own actually a retail brand, a clothing brand, and you get qualified for that, that's absolutely a win-win situation. And now let's finish with my favorite company, which is, well, obviously I love chocolates. So the thing is that I try to eat, as many chocolate as I can. Now, obviously I do some sports as well. Hopefully you can see that on my body. Anyways, so my favorite company is Lindt. It's a Swiss company. It manufactures chocolates, and you get free 2 to 3 kilos of chocolate every year when you own a single share. So, it sounds great, it sounds beautiful that you just need to own one single share, and then you will be entitled to 2 to 3 kilos of chocolate. I mean, I would love that. The thing is that if you check the share price, well, you will see that it's well above 100,000 Swiss francs, which translates to about 110 in euros. Well, to spend and to own a share, a single share, for 120 or 110,000 euros just to get 2 or 3 kilos of free chocolate, well, that's probably not the best idea to have that. But anyways, these are the companies that actually offer you, I believe, one of the best shareholder perks in the market. But there are some others as well. So if you want, you can check those out. You just Google it, shareholder perks, and you will get a list of the companies that you can buy and they offer you shareholder benefits. And also, just let me know in the comments, did you know about these shareholder perks? And if you did you actually buy any of these shares because of the shareholder benefits? Or you just think, okay, this is just one part of the portfolio and this is just an added bonus to that. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video. Bye.